My name's Mike Grossman, and this is how I met Jesus. Before Jesus, my life was kind of a mess. I was an angry guy. I basically was pursuing things that didn't do anything, going after the good-looking girls and money, and worked at a bar and that kind of stuff, and just was angry, and I didn't have I didn't have any joy in my life. Strained relationships with my parents, siblings. So my parents, they always would say to me, "You need God in your life. That's what you're missing. Things aren't right because you don't have God in your life." And I would just push it away. But I think in the back of my mind, I knew there was something not right. And so anyways, they kept trying to get me to come to church, and I just thought, church is for religious people, and I don't want to have anything to do with them. And so eventually, one time I gave in because they kept bugging me, and I said, I'll go to church, get them off my back, and I'm tired of this. So I went to church, and I remember being in the back row and sweating like crazy and feeling so awkward, and I thought to myself, why did I come here? Never doing this again. But for some reason I stayed, and I kept coming. And one day I was at work, and I worked by myself, and it was like, boom, my eyes were open, and I must have heard the message about Jesus, because it all made sense that day. And I remember driving home. I drove a big truck, and I phoned my brother, and he had recently been saved, and I said, it all makes sense now. Like I understand. It's like God opened my eyes. And I remember that day clearly in 2007. Before I met Jesus, I didn't think I was such a bad person. I mean, I knew I had my issues, but I thought I was generally a decent person. But after I realized how sinful I was, and how that separated me from God. And now my life has changed. Before I didn't want kids, I didn't want a wife, I wanted money, cars. Now I have a beautiful family, kids that I love spending time with, and real joy. It's almost like a dream sometimes. I know I'm sinful, and I still struggle with a lot of things, but there's definite change. I'm aware of my sin now. I'm aware of God's grace, and it's hard to describe. Now that I met Jesus, I have a desire for people that I never had before. A desire to help people, for the lost and the marginalized, and people who are struggling. Desires that I didn't have before. Really, I think before, because I was so self-focused, I didn't even see those people. And now, I mean, I worked at a food bank after I was saved, and God gave me, brought me through a whole bunch of things, and now that as I look back, I can see that God's been working in my life, even when I didn't know it.